Drinking coffee while intermittent fasting, okay or no? If you're thinking about trying intermittent fasting, you must be pretty confident in your ability to go without food in the morning, and at lunch, and into the late afternoon. Seriously, fasting is no joke. But what about skipping coffee? It might not be a food group, but I think we can all agree it is pretty essential. Can you actually get out of bed in the morning without the sweet promise of caffeine? And while we're at it, what about other drinks? Would consuming things like lemon water or tea ruin your fasting and the benefits, weight loss related and otherwise, that are supposed to come with it? By the way, if you want to lose weight without dieting or exercise and keep keto flu at bay, you can try Just Keto. Check out the link at the description to know more about it. A little background: intermittent fasting may help improve blood pressure, reduce liver fat, and lower cholesterol on top of reducing body weight, according to the University of Michigan Health Lab. Why? Well, the science is still somewhat undercooked. Theoretically, there's an exchange of sugar for energy that happens during intermittent fasting that could cause you to shed pounds. When you deprive your body of calories, it goes into a temporary state of starvation and slowed metabolism that forces your fat cells to give up the glucose they're storing in order to fuel your body, says registered dietitian Barbie Buell of Barbie Buell's Longevity Nutrition. Over time, with repeated temporary fasting, this can lead to weight loss. Fasting all the time would, in theory, permanently slow your metabolism and counteract the benefits, so you don't want to undereat around the clock. But again, all of that's just a theory. We don't yet know conclusively what happens in humans during fasting, and if it's any more beneficial than simply reducing overall calories, says Buell. What's more, so far the studies that have shown those positive results have mostly been in rats, not humans. If you're still curious, here's what you need to know about how an intermittent fasting diet will affect your drinking habits. You're allowed to have coffee during the hours when you're fasting, but there's a catch. Because a cup of brewed coffee is fat-free and almost no-cal, it won't screw up your fast, so long as it's black coffee, says Buell. All your regular coffee variations and add-ins will cost you fat and calories, and consuming fat and calories means you are no longer fasting. According to the USDA, plain black coffee is around 2 to 5 calories per cup. But once you start pouring in sugar, milk, or cream, you're adding anywhere from 16 to nearly 100 more calories to your morning joe. So while coffee can be a decent way to feel like you're consuming something during your fasting hours, make sure you're drinking it black to keep your calories almost non-existent. The more calories you feed your body, the more outside fuel it has to use as energy, which means it won't utilize the glucose stored up in your fat cells, in theory. Fast broken. But you don't necessarily want to start a coffee drinking habit just to soothe your hunger pains if you're doing intermittent fasting. Caffeine can temporarily speed metabolism and potentially take you out of that starvation mode. But if you're already a regular caffeine consumer, the thermogenic effect is minimal, explains Buell. In other words, if you're already addicted to an AM coffee, you should be okay, the calories are minimal and your body is adjusted to the caffeine. But if you were a decaf tea drinker before, don't start chugging espresso. You hate coffee, what else can you drink while you're in a fasted state? Obviously, you can drink water, you can even punch it up with some fresh fruit or a squeeze of lemon for flavor as long as you aren't actually eating the fruit, but Buell says you can also reach for unsweetened tea, which is 0 calories without anything extra added to it. What you can't drink, however, are things like fruit juices, green juices, or smoothies. This trips people up sometimes, because we tend to think stuff in liquid form is calorie-free, just like water. But juices and smoothies are made with food, which means they have enough calories to break your fast. The whole idea behind the alleged health-promoting benefits is actually fasting, i.e., 0 calories or energy intake, says Buell. If you're consuming something caloric during fasting hours, in the form of sweetened beverages, juices, or even smoothies, you're not fasting. Remember, the whole concept of intermittent fasting relies on a prolonged, uninterrupted period of not consuming any calories, otherwise, your body won't go into the state of starvation necessary for your insulin levels to drop and your body to burn fat. What if I want something other than a drink while I'm intermittent fasting? Unfortunately, Buell says that consuming any calories your body could convert to energy for fuel means you are not fasting anymore. Period. So what can you chew on? Well, it's not terribly exciting, but feel free to reach for some sugar-free gum or hard candy with sugar alcohols or non-nutritive sweeteners like xylitol, which Buell says don't affect your calorie intake or blood glucose in the way that regular sugar does, so you won't be breaking your fast. but the artificial kinds could cause some bloating or mild GI upset, FYI. There's always good old-fashioned, zero-calorie ice cubes if you need to distract your mouth while answering emails at your desk. The bottom line: water, coffee, and unsweetened tea is okay during fasting hours, and sugar-free gum, sugar-free hard candy, or ice cubes may satisfy your oral fixation until the late afternoon. But if you're finding that you're a raging hunger monster while doing intermittent fasting or just otherwise totally miserable, it's okay to quit and try something else. Fasting certainly is not for everyone. If you are genuinely physically and emotionally nourished and satisfied while confining food to a set number of hours per day, do you, says Buells. If you're not, just understand this is not required to achieve your goal of good health.